Hey everyone, so with the beta out of the way, I wanted to kind of share my thoughts of what I thought about it so far, and honestly, I am very impressed. Coming from someone that tried to give DICE and EA a chance with Battlefield 2042, my expectations were low, but I was hoping they'd at least do some major changes with the game so that, we didn't get Battlefield 2043 in a situation. Luckily, in a sense, they kind of did. I mean, for one, their conquest feels fine. Every class is pretty much open to every weapon, which I guess certain classes get better perks. For example, assault gets better handling and aim uptime with assault rifles. Supports, which is you're seeing right now, doesn't suffer any sprint penalty regarding the fact that it's a heavy ass gun, and so on and so forth. But if you do want to play just only like weapon locked classes, they did have the option for that. I never tried it because when I read it, it just said closed weapon conquest, and my peanut sized brain assumed that it was just gonna be close quarters maps, and I'm just like, I don't wanna really play that. I want to play regular conquest. So I didn't get any footage of that because my inability to read. But other than that, it felt like just a regular Battlefield. It honestly feels like realistically they should have just called Battlefield 5 Battlefield World War I or whatever that takes place, because realistically, despite this being called Battlefield 6, had they just had 5 not existed and it went Battlefield 4, Battlefield 5 20, basically, like I'm saying, Battlefield 5 doesn't exist. Then we go Battlefield 2042, and then we see Battlefield 6 now being Battlefield 5. Yeah, it would have definitely made people realize, they learned their lesson. Because, like I said, this game is a lot of fun, and I was playing a lot. The one thing I keep wanting to mention before I forget later on is the fact that there was no tac sprint whatsoever. It was just regular walk speed and regular sprint speed, and there was no tac sprint. There was new movement text, like one where if you jump from a high enough thing you can roll. I just couldn't really get that to set off. And the other thing too that I like the most now is the ability to drag your teammates or drag anyone when you're trying to revive them. That really helped out a lot. But like I said, there's a lot I can actually say about this game, but I'd rather just go ahead and say this right now. I know it's a beta, but there was an issue with the class system. There were times when I would try to add attachments so basically after a couple kills I would unlock a new attachment, and out of curiosity, when I die, I would try to put that attachment. It wouldn't clip on. It would just basically, so say I'm on the iron sights and I unlock a times 1.5 scope. I would try to click on the times 5 scope, and it would just immediately just go right back to the iron sights, and it would just keep doing that. And the only time it would fix itself is if I did it while in the lobby or like the main menu area loadouts, or if I started another match, which again, I know it's just a beta, but I figure I let someone know about that situation. And regarding the maps, there were 3 of them. Realistically, 2 of them felt about the same because they were very close quarters combat. The other one was like an open mountainside kind of map, and that one was like a sniper's paradise and tanks as well. But because basically if I was out in the open and I saw the glint in the distance, I had basically 1 or 2 seconds to find cover before I get sniped. And that's another cool thing too. And this is more rewarding on snipers, but I haven't done it yet. But apparently if you get headshot by a sniper, you can't get revived anymore. It'll just say fatal headshot, and that's pretty much it for you. So yeah, that's kind of a cool thing. It rewards the snipers more, but on that map it was a nightmare because you saw them and they were just miles away, just already immediately ready to snipe you out. But yeah, I did try to get my friends to play it, but unfortunately they didn't get an early code or whatever. And pretty much by the time they were able to watch a streamer for 30 minutes to get a code, they never hopped on. So unfortunately, I was not able to experience the fun with friends side of Battlefield, which is usually where most of the fun is. I mean, on its own, it's fun, but without friends, you're kind of just playing the objective, for fun. And with friends, it's a whole different experience where even if you win or lose, there's always just that funny moment of just being blown up and sent flying across the screen. Overall, though, they have definitely learned their lesson from Battlefield 2042, and it really shows. Again, I really liked all the changes they made, mainly the fact they kept it grounded, the fact that there's no specialists, there's no operators or whatever making quirky remarks after every match. It just feels like a solid military FPS, which is something that I've been looking forward to for a while now, regarding whatever the hell happened to Call of Duty recently. And this is probably one of those times where, I did try to, I remember back when I was covering X Defiant and I was hoping that game would take off, but my expectations were a little too high with that one, forgetting that Ubisoft just likes to shoot themselves in the foot from time to time. But knowing that Battlefield is actually listening to its player base and it's actually, doing something more differently this time. Because if you haven't heard recently, the reason Call of Duty is the way it is because the higher ups are basically just going around saying that they're not really nervous about Battlefield 6 because Call of Duty is too big to fail. Meanwhile, they pretty much just separated Black Ops 6, Modern Warfare 3 and 2 and all that to be its own clients. And yeah, the player count is extremely low. So either they're just assuming that, or basically I think they're just already aware, or they got their money's worth from one entry, that they're just going to squeeze out another one expecting, this is going to hit 100, 200,000 and we'll milk the hell out of them before, we start getting ready for Modern Warfare 4 or something like that. Like, basically, they're just more prepared for short time success. That's why once they get that short time revenue, they don't really care anymore. But this is basically one of those times where they really need to step it up, because right now, if they lose to Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7 does horrific, that's pretty much it for Call of Duty, because next year they're going to have to compete with Grand Theft Auto 6. And I know there's a lot of people, you can be the most diehard Call of Duty fan. They're not going to just, drop everything just to play the new Call of Duty game if the one entry of Grand Theft Auto that we're not going to be seeing for another 20 years is basically coming out around that time. So, like I said, they really got to get their egos checked, and because, like I said, this is basically Battlefield just showing up for the funeral. And if Activision does not get their act together, there's really no reason to be pulling out another Call of Duty game next year. They're just, and then after that, as usual, Sledgehammer is pretty much just going to get, the short end of the stick, when even if they make the perfect Call of Duty, pick 10 system, everything that we've been asking for, they basically have to go against the fact that people have already experienced Black Ops 7 and Modern Warfare 4. And yeah, all that starts just because an open beta of Battlefield 6 is grabbing so much attention, and Activision is pretty much just going around saying they don't care because the franchise is too big to fail. And it's just like, weird. Of all people, it's weird that they're the ones saying it, because Guitar Hero failed, Sears failed, Hal Blockbuster failed. There's so many big franchises that people were not expecting to fail because they were so big, and they ended up failing. And pretty much Activision's just gonna get another reminder of, that whole too big to fail mentality just does not work. Maybe it works for them because, they get bonuses and all that, but at the long run, they're just going to kill their franchise. And once they kill that franchise, there is no coming back. Hell, that's the same reason X Defiant was dying. Once the Ubisoft made the choice of just shutting down the game and that was it dead, didn't matter what videos the big content creators did, doesn't matter what was happening. Everyone already treated the franchise like it was dead, and there was no coming back from that. Even if by some miracle they're like, oh, we changed our minds, we're going to keep this game going, they already announced that the franchise was going to die. So that's where people are going to leave it. Here, Call of Duty still has a chance-ish, but they really got to change things up. No more annual releases, none of that stuff, because if they go into this as usual just releasing another AI slop Black Ops entry, it's not gonna look good. Not even the people that are high content creators, even basically even their own fan base is gonna say enough is enough and pretty much just leave it at that. So they really do got it, because like I said, this is just the beta. Next week we're basically getting the open beta, the one where everyone has access to. We're gonna get another map. I'm hoping they add more weapons, because as nice as it was playing support, I didn't like the LMG selection that we had, because one was just has a high magazine round, and the other one was just shoots slower, hits harder. I guess I just want a little more variety in a situation like that. But either or, I hope the next map that we get is a huge one, like less cover and all that, because some of the maps that we did, the 3 maps that we have in the beta so far, 2 of them kind of just favor assault and or basically assault and engineer classes, because it's so close quarters. I mean, sure, I could use the same gun as them, being even if I'm a support, but I don't get the bonus of having better hip fire or having a faster draw time, so I'm kind of at a disadvantage here. But again, despite all that, I was having fun. I'm hoping next week, when the beta does happen, I can actually play with my friends, and I'll give my final review of it. For now, it's just, you know, I went into this thinking I'm hoping it's not another 2042 situation. Thankfully it wasn't. It just straight up just felt like playing Battlefield all over again, and honestly I'm just glad that that's what they went for, because oof, like I said, 2042, I tried to give it a chance, and they basically got my $100 because I bought the gold edition or whatever, thinking, you know, maybe they did learn their lesson. And you know, for now I'm not gonna buy the game. I'll just wait a little bit more until, you know, to see who. I'm just basically waiting on the next 2 weeks, because after this one we still have 2 more weeks or 2 more weekends of the Battlefield beta to go through, and after that then I'll see how the game handles and all that. But for now I'm just gonna just leave it at that, where I just, you know, the game's fun. I'm glad that they're toning it back a bit. No tac sprint. The weapons feel balanced-ish. You know, maybe I'm just not finding the right combination. They got rid of that one. What's it called? Either they got rid of it, but they also did something else too. But I don't know how to describe it. It's that one creator class thing from Battlefield 2042 where your gun would be holstered up and you would just be able to attach pre-made attachments and all that. I guess they got rid of that, but you can still pretty much edit your loadout while in a match. It took me a while because it's not something that's straight up explained. It'll just randomly pop up as an in-game tip or something, which on PlayStation 5 was the touchpad. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to go over with this beta, but I'm not someone that just, you know, that's really meant for something like this. I just wanted to get on, make this video, and just pretty much explain that, yeah, they basically did a complete overhaul of the Battlefield franchise in a good way, and it's been the most fun I've ever had. It feels nice and grounded. If like once you get your settings, which that's another thing too, the settings to adjust your sensitivity and all that is all over the place. I thought it'd be combined with the gameplay thing, but nope, it's like controller, edit settings, and then it's all there. It's kind of a mess, and I hope they just kind of overhaul that so it's easier to just adjust my settings, because for now I'm working with just a fast sensitivity, slow ADS speed, but I'm hoping that next time it is a little more easier to manage. But other than that, game is fun, and I'm not sure if it's still going on right now, because from my understanding it made it seem like the beta was just gonna be for 2 days, but maybe I'm wrong on that. And that about does it for the video. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment your thoughts about the Battlefield 6 open beta, whether you're someone that has played the game as of now, or if not, if you're just someone that's watched the streamers. Because like I said, right now, even though this is just a beta that has like limited people coming in, it's already showing that a lot of people are really hyped up and pretty much showing interest in this entry, to the point that it was breaking a bunch of viewer counts over on Twitch. And there are a lot of people basically just coping on the fact that, oh, it's because people have to watch 30 minutes to get a code and all that. But Realistically, if that were the case, the viewer count on Twitch would have dipped dramatically from being at 2 in the morning was when the beta first started out to basically being lower numbers from after 30 minutes of someone watching and getting a code. Mind you, this game's not on it's not on what's it called, last gen, so thank goodness on that one that they just basically decided, oh yeah, we're just gonna just leave it for current gen and PC. So yeah, this game is not unlike Call of Duty. It's not being limited back, so it's only gonna be on PS5, Xbox One, or Xbox Series S and X, and PC. Meanwhile, Call of Duty is still hindering its performance and hindering what it could technically pull off if they finally decide, which I've heard they're not doing that till Modern Warfare 4, which I guess they got to get that last minute cash cow before they finally decide to just, you know. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and yeah, let me know what your thoughts on all this is, and until next time, see you later, everyone. Nice. Ah, damn it, they got me.